Fundamentally, they're based on the same design. They're obviously based on the original Lotus 7 that Colin Chapman put together, but there are quite a lot of differences from any of the Caterhams that you'd see. Caterham have the benefit of having a multi-million pound facility and manufacturing facilities, whereas all the cars that you'll see here today are primarily built by the drivers. They're certainly home-built efforts, although the chassis are professionally welded. From that point onwards, the cars are put together by an enthusiastic amateur, normally the guy that drives it, or the guy that drives its dad, or someone like that, or a knowledgeable friend, and then they're put together that way. Whereas obviously with the Caterhams and all of the different Caterham models, they're production cars. They're rather more advanced than these. These are significantly cheaper and a much more affordable way to go motor racing. But the racing is probably a lot closer than the Caterham. Certainly the higher end of the Caterham ladder, the expensive, very, very quick stuff, doesn't have anything like the racing that we have. We will have top 10 separated by between half and a second at any given circuit. I think today the guy that's on pole position is 0.04 of a second ahead of the next guy, for example. So very much closer, very similar specification across all the cars, and therefore very, very close and competitive racing.
Well, this is the fourth round of the Demon Tweaks Yokohama Locost Championship. We have two races at Castle Combe. The first of those was won by Lee Bankhurst. It was his first ever race in the category, having previously competed in the Endurance Fun Cup races. Unfortunately, he crashed out of the second race, so Scott Mittell, last year's runner-up, took the win. And then yesterday here at Brands Hatch, Tom Collar absolutely dominated, very unusual at Locost. He beat John Lansley and Scott Mittell. This race about to get underway then. The red lights go out and away they go. It's Tom Collar and Martin Gambling on the front row of the grid, and it's a pretty even start between the two of them, but Stephen Ross in the 26 car makes a good start from the outside of the front row of the grid. On board we go with Scott Mittell then, third yesterday, and it's right in the thick of the action here. Down the hill they go then. It's Tom Collar that's in the lead of the race. John Lansley from the second row is in second place, but someone off in the background there.
Yes, it was David Morrow having a trip through the gravel there at Paddock Hill Bend on the opening lap, but we're on board with Scott Mittell then. He's behind David Black. Is he going to have a look up the inside into Graham Hill Bend? No, he's not, because Black has it covered as they come through the downhill third gear left-hander, heading out onto the Cooper straight then. So Tom Collar it is who leads. It's John Lansley in second, Martin Gambling in third, and David Black running in fourth place as the leader, Tom Collar, heads up to Clearways for the first time.
Yes, Collar there in the number 4 car, signifying that he was fourth in the championship last year, being chased by John Lansley, who chased him over the line yesterday, albeit 3 seconds behind. John Lansley in one of the Matt Sherrington TMC Motorsport prepared cars. This is the biofueled car, side by side here for third and fourth place though. Meanwhile, Lansley makes a bid for the lead. It's Gambling involved in that battle for third place, certainly, and it's David Black that's just gone around the outside of him to get P3 away. Further back we go on board with the number 71 car of Jason Gibbons as he drops down now through Paddock Hill Bend. And Jason, well, he started a bit further back on the grid. He started in 11th place, and he's currently in 12th, just behind Lynn Fallowen there. Turning round Druids, the hairpin, one of the slowest parts of this 1.19 mile Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Back on board with Scott Mittell. That's Martin Gambling now ahead of him.
Heading down the Brabham straight once again. Mittell's got quite a good toe, and he's going to pull out now, try and get past Martin Gambling onto the left-hander of McLaren, and he's through. Good move there from Mittell. That drops Gambling down to 5th place, but these three leaders are right together as they make their way through Clearways and out towards Clark. Is John Lansley going to have enough slipstreaming and enough power in this 1300cc engine to get past? He looks to the outside as they head down into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's actually going past fairly easily. He's got the move made already, and Dave Black in fact fancies a chance around the outside. He's not going to make it through, but he'll tuck back in and try and get the run on Tom Collar up towards Druids. Collar comes across to cover that move. He's not close enough to make a move himself on Lansley. Black still trying to hang on around the outside as we go on board with Scott Mittell now. This has allowed him to close in, and pulling off there on the right hand side, that's race leader Lansley.
Yes, it looks like Lansley has hit problems. He's going to pull off to the side of the circuit as they approach Graham Hill Bend. He's not had much luck in this car, I'm afraid. Yesterday's second position was a high point, but the ex-Formula Ford racer is out of this one. The race, though, continues. Looking further down the order, this is Nick Morley leading the next group of cars in the number 88 machine, and then through behind him is 24 Lee Bankhurst, our winner of the opening round at Castle Combe. Big accident in race 2. Down to his own inexperience, rather. He admitted that, but there's been a lot of work since then to put a brand new front end on his car, and his team, his family, have done sterling work to get him out for this weekend. But here's the battle for the lead. It's David Black side by side with Tom Collar. Black getting his front wheels ahead. He's got all four wheels just about ahead. The curb being clipped there by Tom Cole, our second place man. Can he fight back on the run up the hill towards Druids? Scott Mattel, the school teacher, is trying to get involved as well. On board with it, with him we go. So we go round onto the right-hander and down towards Graham Hill Bend once more.
Great racing then from Locost already in these early laps as Scott Mattel pops it into third and accelerates out of the corner. Is he going to be close enough? Running a little bit wide there was Tom Collar as they all make their way out onto the Cooper Straight once more. There's that battle we were watching a moment ago going on with Paul Bryans involved as the rest of the field stream their way through. Another car heading a bit wide as we go on board with Vicky Pickles heading up towards McLaren for the first time. She is chasing Jason Gibbons, I believe, Gibbons rather, in what I believe is a battle for about ninth, and she's looking on the inside here, not going to be close enough, has to put two wheels on the curb. An interesting angle from this onboard shot, it makes the bonnets look really long.
Here is some wheel-to-wheel action for the lead. It's David Black this time on the inside line and Collar on the outside. This time Collar, I think, is going to lead up towards Druids. Yes, he is. Top three then pulling away from Martin Gambling in fourth place. Then we saw that fifth place battle headed a moment ago by Nick Morley, and here comes Vicky Pickle. She makes a place up there. Not sure who that was from. She's still behind though Jason Gibbons. They go under the Carlew Bridge, turning right now at the hairpin at Druids. Very different view this, as Jack was saying. Look, it was Jason Gibbons getting out of shape there. Down the hill towards Graham Hill Bend. It kinks left and there's a tighter left here. Bit of dust kicked up there maybe. Careful not to run out four wheels over the white line on the outside of the circuit. Alex von Erheimer can see in that pack as well. Lap record holder now at Castle Coombe, and it's side by side for the lead once more. It's Black versus Collar, and it is Collar just with his nose in front as they turn into Paddock Hill Bend.
Well, positions changing almost every lap then as we're on board with Jason Gibbons heading down into Paddock Hill Bend. He's covering the inside line, but he's not covering it well enough because through goes and another car too going through. So for the first car that went through was Vicky Pickles, and I'm not sure who went through after that. I think it may have been Lynn Fallowen.
Yeah, could well have been. There's one Erheim. You can see the red car with the Dayglow radiator grille there. All these cars powered by the 1300cc cross-flow engine. Lots of parts from old Ford cars effectively. The design based on the Build Your Own Sports car for as little as £250, booked by Ron Champion several years ago. Low-cost racing, born in the UK back in 1999. Simon Pullen, the winner of the first race at Malloy Park. But there is the battle for the lead. Look, Scott Mattel now in second place behind David Black, and Black has just got a couple of car lengths in hand now. But Scott Mattel, winner of round 2 of the championship at Castle Coombe, runner-up in the championship last year to David Bartholomew, who's not competing this year, goes for the lead around the outside at Paddock Hill Bend. Use this in the slipstream well, but can he stay in front? Yes, he can. You can see in the mirror there that David Black is now behind him.
Mattel feels the need to go defensive straight away into Druids. That's more moves around the outside at Paddock Hill Bend than I think I've ever seen at Brands Hatch. So as they come side by side for second place now, it's going to be Tom Collar on the inside with Black on the outside. And who's going to come out on top? They're going to squeeze each other there, and Black is forced a little bit wide, but Tom Collar, in his respect, with respect to him, gives him racing room, and battle joined now by Martin Gambling.
Someone going all four wheels off there. That may have been Paul Bryant, actually, side by side with Stephen Ross in the sister car to Scott Mattel. The rest of the field filtering their way through, and someone spinning there at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend. This is Alex von Erheim challenging the number 22 car. That is James McAllister. McAllister and von Erheim together there, and then it's Vicky Pickles. So it may well have been McAllister that got through ahead of Pickles a few laps ago.
Heading down over the start-finish straight once more, and again it's this battle for the lead that's taking our attention as Mattel and Black are side by side through Paddock Hill. Mattel holds on to the lead now as they head up towards Druids. Black darts to the outside line. He's not going to make it through there. Mattel has the inside, but Black will try and go wide and then get the cut back and better acceleration down to Graham Hill. Is it going to pay off as they head down towards the sweeping left-hander? No, not quite close enough. Still only half a car's length in it, but look at that. It looks as though Martin Gambling has now got up into third place, but here comes Dave Black. Oh, Scott Mattel very defensive, chopping up Dave Black there, but I think he was just about entitled to block him off there, because I don't think Black quite had enough enough of an overlap as they head into Clark Curve and Clearways. It looks as though Martin Gambling is just about holding on for second position as they head out through Clark Curve now. They're side by side for second place. Is Black going to be able to get a bit of momentum as they come across towards the checkered flag? Black isn't going to make it. No, it's almost side by side, but it is, well, you can see by his reaction, it is Scott Mittell that wins the low-cost race. And, well, here's the replay, Ian.
Yes, very close finish indeed. It was almost inevitable because every race they've been, or every lap of the race, they've been swapping positions going into Paddock Hill Bend, and there you can see the pictorial evidence that the gap was 0.01 seconds, and Tom Collar was only another 0.6 of a second back in third place. Martin Gambling finished fourth. Nick Morley beat Stephen Ross in that battle for fifth, and Alex von Erheim came up the order well to seventh place. Had poor qualifying yesterday. Further back, Paul Bryant was 9th and Vicky Pickles 10th. We saw something of their battle. Lee Bankhurst dropped back to 12th position. Well, Scott, typical low-cost race.
Yeah, I think what we saw yesterday was not really a low-cost race, but well done to Tom. He absolutely dominated yesterday. So, but today was back to normal. 3-4 of us fighting for it right into the last, literally, millisecond. So, yeah, it was great.
Tell me about the decisive move of the race from your point of view.
From my point of view, it all came, last lap board was out, Dave Black was trying to come around the outside of me into paddock, and I was like, well, if he goes here, that's it, game over. So we went both pretty deep into Paddock Hill Bend and managed to collect it up and get up the hill, which was good.